We're about to get into episode 3 for The Last of Us. Again, it's in the morning. Couple notes to make here. Forgot to mention in episode 2 is a little bit of character development with Ellie, but not really character development, despite the fact that she knew Tess a grand total of like maybe 24 hours or so. She fought with Joel to not leave her there. It's a much more emotional Ellie. Could be for good thing. So it seems like she's caring, but we'll see if that's actually caring or if that's just writers trying to make her do the right thing over and over again. We'll see if that contradicts with anything. Anyway, episode 3. About 10 minutes into the episode, we finally learn about how the cordyceps invaded the world, or at least from Joel's perspective. They say it was mainly cordyceps finding a new host after evolving using bread, cereal, and basically any kind of mix that's sold around the world, and I guess enough people ate it. I don't really like that explanation because it relies on global warming mutating cordyceps and things like that. Now, I suppose I wouldn't know how long it would take, but I figure it would take longer than however long the show is presuming it would take for cordyceps to evolve. Even if humans ate it, I feel like it would just be dumped into waste, no matter how many times we eat it. So, I mean, it made it sound like it was just that one batch of food that screwed everybody over, but I don't think that's the case. I think for something like that to actually scientifically happen, it would have to be 100 years of time for cordyceps to be affecting everything. I don't know, I feel like a recall would have happened long before that time. I don't know, for me it's a little harder to buy than air spores. You know what I mean? But I mean, it is an interesting concept, you know, it wasn't a wild animal or anything like that that infected the world. It's just cordyceps infected something that everyone uses. What's it called? It's the same way that a vision got infected with the sickness. People infected money bills. That being said, I think money bills is way easier to believe than cordyceps infecting bread. And then you eat enough bread and then it turns you into something. I feel like that would still take a long time. I was gonna wait for at least the scene to end, but by the time it ends, the show's gonna be half finished. So I'm just gonna start talking about it now. I love Frank. I love Frank and I love Bill. You don't really get to see it in the game, so this is a nice kind of introduction to them, you know? And from what I'm seeing, I don't hate them. They're both kind of adorable in their own little way. The intro to Bill was great. Like, I like the way he just conducted his life after the outbreak occurred. I mean, it makes me want to like build an underground bunker or something like that, just so like when the apocalypse comes, like I get to do the stuff he did. It's great to watch. And Frank trying to bring some culture to the end of the world. Yeah, sounds like Frank, I guess, from what little I know about him from the video game. I'm loving these two. I did feel a little weird when no, it wasn't really a sex scene, but the implication of a sex scene was there. And any other time something like that happens in a show that isn't like a freaking porno or anything like that, I feel weird watching, because it's like, then I feel like I'm like the third wheel, and I don't want to be there for that. You know what I mean? But I mean, I like the two. I love the two. I wish they had a show about themselves, you know, just like their antics about the end of the world and stuff like that. They're a charming duo. Of course, I've played the video game, so yeah, I kind of know what's gonna happen. Real damn shame. I gotta point something out here. This is at the point of the Raider scene. Shouldn't Bill be smarter than this? I mean, what is he doing in the middle of the street with no cover in an illuminated area? Like, doesn't he have a sniper perch? He's got like multiple different buildings with multiple different 2 stories. I mean, he's gotta have something built. I'm not really sure what Frank's excuse is either. He went out there in the open, just like, I understand going to go get Bill, but he's still like running out in the middle of the open with no cover. Like, you should know to stay inside. I don't know. I feel like both of them should be smarter than this in this scenario. Quick note about Frank wanting Bill to help him with an assisted suicide. Fuck you, Frank. Like, I get it, but fuck you. Okay, I just reached the end of episode 3. I love this episode. This is a great episode. That being said, I probably would never watch it again because it's so fucking depressing. I applaud Bill for making it a double suicide, which is weird to say out loud. But I mean, yeah, fuck that. In that kind of scenario, probably would have done it too. Shit. How come you get to only be the one that has a happy death? Very different from the video game, which I appreciate. You don't really see much of. You don't really get to appreciate Bill in the video game. He's just kind of like a jackass or some kind of like wild animal. Here, you see both of them, Bill and Frank. I don't have much to say. It's just a really great episode. There isn't really too much character development, but you do see Joel starting to open up to Ellie. Ellie's pretty much the same. She had an interesting freak out with the Mortal Kombat game. It is also important to remember that she was born before the world fell apart. So they got that part right, which I'm happy about. Even if you didn't play the video game, it's nice that they show that part where Ellie she doesn't even know what a car is, you know what I'm saying? It's important for world building. So far, the show is hitting every major important point when it comes to just world building in general and story and characters. I was a little disappointed when I heard that, they're the ones that supplied like the 80 means trouble code. And it turns out it wasn't nothing at all. It is a shame. That being said, I guess I wouldn't want to have seen Bill in a more depressing state. This was a powerful episode. If I had to guess what would be coming next, probably the brothers. I think that's what happens next canonically anyway, so I think this would have to be it. They're going to enter a big city and then they see the brothers and the raiders. That would be my guess. Show is following the logic of the game in terms of destinations where to go. They're just kind of switching around what destination is which or what kind of thing is that. Great episode. I can't wait for episode 4. See you then.